This fighter is 19-0 and nobody is talking about him. After what we witnessed last weekend with the big shakeup in the welterweight division where Jack Della Maddalena won the title off of Belal Muhammad, and we've got another big welterweight fight coming up this upcoming weekend where Gilbert Burns is taking on Morales. Lots of movement is happening in the welterweight division, but nobody is talking about Shavkat Rakhmanov. And I want to know why. Have you guys all forgotten what he has done to his to 18 of his 19 opponents? He has finished 18 of his 19 opponents by way of knockout, by way of submission. And yes, he was supposed to be the one to fight Belal. And yes, he got injured. And yes, Islam Makhachev is coming up to get the next title shot. But what about after that? Right now, we've got a situation at welterweight where there is a logjam at the top of the division, and everybody's calling their shots and saying who should fight who, but I have not heard Shavkat Rakhmanov's name mentioned once. And this is a bit of a travesty, in my opinion. So right now, here is what things look like. We've got at number 1, like the champion, Jack Della Maddalena. He is going to be fighting Islam Makhachev. We know this, right? The number 1 ranked guy is Belal Muhammad. Coming off a loss, he probably needs some time to heal, whatever the case may be. Nobody's really talking about him fighting anybody, but like Kamaru Usman's been mentioned. I don't think that's going to happen for a while because Usman's booked to fight Buckley, but you've got Buckley, right? He gets through Usman. Now he's in the title conversation, right? Ian Garry flew up to be the backup fighter in Montreal. Dana has said in the past that if you are a backup fighter, he only did this for Colby, then you automatically get the next title shot, right? But it's like, he was in 6th place or something like that. So it's like, does he really? Right? Then you've got Sean Brady at the top. He's not busy right now. They've talked about him and Ian Garry fighting. That's an interesting matchup as well. Right? Then people were talking about, maybe you get Leon to fight, and then you get this, and you get Leon to fight all these things. Nobody spoke about Shavkat. Not one. And it does look like right now, like Shavkat's dealing with some injuries, right? Ian Garry did point out a few months ago that the reason he's dealing with an injury was because of their fight. By the way, the one time he doesn't submit or finish his opponent was Ian Garry, right? So, let's take a moment to appreciate Ian Garry, right? But, are we forgetting this? 18-0, 19-0, 1 decision. How are we not, how is Shavkat not next, right? Now, I get it, right? We have the memory of rodents, right? Just next thing, right? So, it's obvious right now that Islam JDM fight, that needs to happen, right? And probably between now and when that gets resolved, some other fights will need to take place in order to kind of determine at the top who really is the number 1 contender. Because until, obviously Belal is technically the number 1 contender. He ain't getting anywhere near a belt soon unless he probably has to win 2 more times, to be quite honest. Unless he finishes someone in a dominant fashion. Like if he knocks out Sean Brady for a second time, he's not fighting Leon again. They're probably going to do Ian Garry versus Sean Brady, I would say. So, Belal versus Shavkat is probably the fight to make right now with Shavkat. Because, that fight was supposed to happen. Yes, it's not for a championship, but he beats Belal, then he is the next. He's clearly next in line for a title shot, right? But then if you have Sean Brady and Ian Garry, whoever comes out of that one on top is in the title conversation. And then you have Usman versus Buckley, whoever comes out of that one on top, is probably also in that conversation as well, right? And then you've got Leon kind of floating towards the bottom of the top 5, I think, or maybe he's 6th now. But big logjam, lots going on. Do you do Buckley versus Leon next? Maybe that would be interesting. But my whole point to this entire video is that everybody's calling their shots. Everybody's playing matchmaker. Everybody is saying everything about everyone, but nobody's mentioning Shavkat. Nobody's calling for Shavkat. Nobody's saying that they want to fight Shavkat. Need I say more? And the reason they don't want to fight Shavkat is because he is dangerous everywhere. And yes, Ian Garry made him look human. But Ian Garry is that next level fighter. I know y'all don't agree with that, but I believe it to be true, right? Short notice against Shavkat, took him to a decision. Short notice against Prats, wins in a relatively dominant fashion. Need I say more? What other points do you need? So that's where I'm at, guys. Shavkat has, and the thing is, it's like, if you don't speak up for yourself, no one's going to speak for you. Except for me. I'm speaking up for Shavkat. So you're welcome, Shavkat. I'm now part of the Shavkat PR team. Right? But it's like I was thinking to myself, in the lead up to the JDM fight, it's been silent. And then right after that victory, Shavkat finally posted a tweet where he's like, nope, I'm the king of the division, the uncrowned king of the division. It's right here, right? But that was like the first tweet, the first expo. Did you call it a tweet anymore? I've seen from Shavkat in like 6 months. You know what I mean? Sure, he's injured, but man, keep people at the top. Keep yourself on the mouths of people. Keep yourself relevant. Keep yourself at the forefront. Because if you're not, this is what happens. Everybody's making matches, and nobody's talking about you. So, that's my point. Shavkat needs to be in that conversation. And frankly, I feel like we need to have 2 number 1 contender fights, right? Maybe we do Ian Garry and Sean Brady, Shavkat versus Belal. Or some variation of that. Shavkat versus Brady, Belal versus Garry. Something of that nature, right? Problem is, Belal's probably going to need, about at least 6 months before he fights again. Maybe longer. But, maybe you throw Buckley into that mix. Or Leon versus Shavkat, something like that. And then whoever has the most dominant victory, they get the title shot. Anyway, that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Thank you guys for watching. We will see you next time. If you wouldn't mind helping me out, subscribe, helps with the algorithm, helps the channel. Thank you so much.